For Inside Carolina, I'm Taylor Vippolis. You guys know who this is. It's the man, the myth, the legend, Don Callahan. Don, the Showtime Camp just wrapped up. What were your general thoughts on this? Because it did seem a bit different from camps in the past, like Fedora's Freak Show event.
The main difference is that just because of how the recruiting calendar has sped up, a lot of underclassmen as opposed to the 22 class, which is really the focus right now. And in Fedora, when he had his Freak Show, they would always try to get mostly 22s, or mostly that particular class, because that was the focus. But with everybody officially visiting this month, it makes it a lot harder to do that. So we saw a lot of 23s, but a lot of good ones.
A lot of talent here today in Chapel Hill. Starting with the offensive side of the ball, was there anybody who kind of jumped off the page to you?
There were actually a few. I mean, if I had to give you one, I would go with Tyshawn Chapman, the wide receiver that's committed to North Carolina, fast slot guy. His speed is a little deceptive. It seemed like some of those DBs weren't ready for his speed, and he took advantage of that, catching some deep balls, getting over top of the DBs on a lot of different routes. So he would be my guy for the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah, I was watching the one-on-ones. I'm a receiver at heart. Dre Bly was out there. It was fun seeing the coaches out there interacting with some of the players. And like Don said, Chapman's speed caught a lot of guys off guard. He was blown by a lot of people. But Don, switching sides, the defensive side of the ball, who kind of impressed you there?
So with that one, I'm going to go with the guy who actually played on both sides of the ball. Rico Walker was an absolute stud. During one-on-ones, he was with the D-line at first, and Callahan, he just ate him alive on back-to-back reps. Callahan couldn't even get his hands on him, and he just juked his way around him to the quote-unquote quarterback. After that, he goes to linebacker and broke up a couple passes, had an interception there, and then played some tight end where, clearly tight end isn't his future. Linebacker is good to kind of see because in North Carolina's defense, that's where he would play that outside rush end sort of thing, stand-up guy who he'll have to drop into covers a little bit, so it's good to see that, good to see the interception. But he's just an absolute stud. He's right across from me right now. You saw him,
yeah.
And I mean, you just coming off the bus, I mean, what did you say to me?
I said, how is that kid a rising junior?
Yeah.
I never looked like that. Still, I could work out for the next 2 years,
yeah,
and I'm still never going to look like that, but he was a physical specimen, like you mentioned.
Yeah, and the thing with him is a lot of it is just pure, just natural at this point. He doesn't have a whole lot of coaching at his high school. He's at a smaller school where he's playing a lot of different roles for the team, being relied on a lot, and doesn't get to specialize in one position, doesn't get to work out a whole lot. But, I mean, he's a guy whose ceiling is just ceiling is the roof.
And then just looking at this event as a whole, there's a lot of talent. One of the guys, Sonny Styles, top 15 player in the overall class. Carolina might have their work cut out for him when it comes to his recruitment, but what do you think it just says about this team and their overall direction of the program that they are getting players like Styles to even come to Chapel Hill?
Well, you have to crawl before you walk. So UNC is not going to land these guys one day all of a sudden. You have to get these guys to campus first, and then once you start getting these guys to campus, then you can start to hopefully land some of those guys. And we see North Carolina is in it. None of the guys tonight that came, but we talk about Dalen Everett and Jaden Lucas. These are five-star guys, top 25 in the nation guys who UNC is really in the thick of it against Clemson and Ohio State for. And, so you kind of see what Mac is doing and just where the program is heading.
It's going to be an interesting summer when it comes to recruiting. Don Callahan, the best in the business, coming from you from the Showtime Camp. Don, thank you as always.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Always glad to be with Taylor's the first time. So I'm happy.
We were talking about it. Ross is away on vacation. This might be the moment Ross gets Wally pipped. Might see more me and Don in the future, but Don, thanks.
Thank you.